Currently, Bitcoin is owned by over 300 million people worldwide. XRP is owned by just 2 million people. Take a moment to consider that. Imagine yourself and 40,000 other people in a stadium. Although there are many people there, just perhaps 10 of them are XRP owners. Nowadays, you don't see many individuals using XRP. The finest part is about to begin. The price would fluctuate significantly if XRP gained the same level of notoriety as Bitcoin. There would be market shifts that had never been observed in the field of cryptocurrency. I'll demonstrate to you today why the upcoming years for XRP may be the most exciting in history. Note that this isn't financial advice. This is the reality. Only 0.02% to 0.22% of the global population owns XRP. 4% of the world's population owns Bitcoin, which is incredibly popular. According to how accounts that aren't being used are counted, only 1.5 to 2 million actual users own XRP worldwide. This is following the removal of wallets that contained extremely little quantities of XRP and hadn't been used for years. This is when the exciting part begins. Assume that there are 338 million XRP owners instead of just 2 million. That's roughly the same number of Bitcoin owners. 168 times as many individual holders, that is. If demand for a difficult-to-get item suddenly increases, its price may rise to levels that don't seem feasible at the moment. The fact that this is true is even better. Going up or down the cryptocurrency usage curve? Swiftly. We've witnessed it previously. For this to happen quickly, months, not decades, people, the economy, and society must all cooperate. Matching is another topic we should discuss. You should purchase the assets with the most upside potential before anyone else does if you want to truly anticipate these kinds of shifts. For this reason, I created Find 100x Stocks, the top investing manual for becoming wealthy. This extensive collection of papers, charts, images, videos, and in-depth research will assist you in determining the potential sources of the next great star. In the first message, the link is broken. While it's still available, get it now. This is because if you're an owner who doesn't want to miss opportunities, this is the instrument you'll use to seize them. Let's return to the topic of XRP. The facts are as follows. There will be 8.37 billion people on the planet by 2027. Approximately 4% of individuals use XRP, which is the same percentage as Bitcoin. This indicates that 335 million people are its owners. Many people wish to purchase. Between 2 and 335 million. This kind of increase might push XRP into the triple digits, even in less bullish forecasts. What do you think the value of each token will be? Some estimate it will be worth $1,007 if 100 million individuals own it, and more than $600 million if XRP gains the same level of notoriety as Bitcoin. Not to mention the applications for which XRP is now being configured. However, what about those who are receiving benefits? Stablecoin trading, FX transactions between institutions, and cash transfers between banks may all be completed rapidly and affordably. Payment networks, banks, and the government all want such items to be helpful. In the backdrop, the machines are currently being constructed. A prime example is the Depository Trust and Clearing Business, DTCC. The U.S. financial markets rely on it to function. It has publicly discussed adding $100 trillion worth of assets to the chain in the form of notes. They have publicly stated that the T+1 agreement is insufficient. They want transactions to be settled immediately using blockchain lines. These folks have. Add patents as well. If you look at them, you can see that they have experimented with AR, XRP, XLM, and a few other assets. Take a moment to consider that. Every year, the DTC closes more than $2 quadrillion worth of stock transactions. Ripple has been working with them for a long time, and they maintain track of all the US stocks that are bought and traded. One former DTCC operator is currently on the board of Ripple. If even a tiny portion of the $100 trillion tokenization scheme passes over XRP lines, it will be disastrous. Request and more. The ETF sector is sending out unambiguous signals that are becoming more difficult to ignore. The SEC has officially given its approval to convert the Bitwise 10 into an ETF that includes XRP. Although there isn't a spot ETF yet, there is a gap in the market. The topic of whether an XRP ETF will exist or not is irrelevant. When retail inflows, institutional acceptance, and media attention occur together is the question. Even on Facebook, things are becoming heated. N is present in the image. A large, conspicuous X is inscribed on the side of an antique pickup truck's military-style gas can. This and the post's allusions to Ripple have led some to question whether it's a subtle jab at XRP. It could be a warning that circulates before major news stories, or it could be nothing. Those who are aware not to. The broader picture is going up and up and up, rather than in a straight line. Many small buyers could purchase utility-driven assets, DTCC could launch tokenized settlement rails, and a spot ETF may be permitted. These events could cause XRP's growth curve to shift in months rather than years. In the past, it has been observed that when demand for a cryptocurrency product with a restricted supply source, price discovery does not occur gradually. It happens fast. This piques our interest in learning more about the figures and determining the actual amount of XRP held by the 2 million active users. Discover the precise changes in market capitalization that accompany each significant usage milestone, as well as how that spread varies as the number of holders increases. Let's dissect this. Currently, there are roughly 55 billion XRP tokens in circulation. This indicates that its market value is in the tens of billions of dollars. At this moment. Not too large, but good for an altcoin read at the recommended level. Many individuals overlook this. To calculate market capitalization, simply multiplying price by number is insufficient. Indeed, it is contingent upon the final buyer's willingness to pay. Additionally, cryptocurrency markets are notoriously narrow in comparison to global stock or trade markets. This implies that prices do not fluctuate in tandem with an increase in demand, particularly when that demand originates from sources other than retail. Rather, prices fluctuate rapidly. In case. First, the number of XRP wallets will increase from the current 2 million to 100 million. Although 50 times as many people use it, it's still not anywhere close to Bitcoin. Each XRP would be worth roughly $177 if the market capitalization increased to the $10 trillion range. This is predicated on the present distribution of wallets, the typical inflows, and the historical evolution of adoption curves. The massive volume of traffic that passes across the network for institutional payments and significant supply burns are not even taken into consideration. In the latter instance, chaos ensues. With 335 users, XRP has the same number as Bitcoin. Million users, or 4% of the global population. 168 times as many individual holders, that is. Each token will be worth roughly $600, and the market value of XRP will exceed $35 trillion. Consider combining the present market prices of Ethereum and Bitcoin into a single product to get a sense of how large that is. These figures have not been this high in the past. Now, a novice in the field of cryptocurrency may believe they are. In 2013, the market value of Bitcoin was less than $1 billion. By 2021, it had increased to over $1 trillion. The market value of Ethereum was only $15 million in 2007. By 2021, it had increased to over $200 billion. At its peak, it was valued at over $500 billion. Either way, the explanation wasn't merely conjecture. There wasn't enough money for the adoption meeting. Both of those are usable on XRP. Additionally, it allows you to settle in the actual world, something that those other items do not allow. The usefulness of it is the asymmetric gain. Banks are able to make swift, low-cost decisions, transfer and receive money, and settle transactions in stable currencies. Not very much. These coins aren't a joke. It costs $1 trillion to fix the way banks operate. Groups that are also building the rails to address the problems are now in charge of it. The Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation is referred to as the DTCC. The capital of this bank is not tiny. Because of it, U.S. stock markets remain open.